Yeah, I just got back from watching Wicked for Good, and it's a part two of the Wicked of the Witch, the movie from last year, which I actually like. And of course, it's a musical fantasy film, you know, the whole singing and dancing, one of my favorite genres. And if you're not a big fan of those, I'm pretty sure you're not going to like this film. But I think the story and the characters make up the film, even if you're not into the whole musical dancing genre. And if you're a big fan of The Wizard of Oz, I think you're going to enjoy this film. The characters are good. I definitely like the actors here. I think they all did very well, especially when they're singing and dancing. And I do love how they performed really, really good, especially Jeff Goldblum, the wizard, which is always very nice to see him, especially since he's a very good actor. And of course, Ariana Grande is there as well. And of course, you know, the Wicked of the Witch. And obviously, their singing is top notch because there are singers and they know how to sing. And of course, they're going to nail the soundtrack in their high pitched voice. They perform very well. I don't think I actually hated a song here, but I think the singing and dancing, I prefer the Wicked from the 2024 last year's better than this one, but it's not bad neither. I do enjoy this singing and dancing in this one as well, but I don't think that they're that memorable as the first one. And there's not very much action pack here, but there is kind of a lot of entertainment here, especially bringing the world to life. And obviously there is some here and there, but it's a very good just storytelling, more about singing and dancing, mostly just about that. There's not much explosions and all that craziness, but it is just basically more about entertainment and just the storytelling, and it does bring the world to life, and it's always pretty nice to see that kind of entertaining. And if you're looking for an action-packed film, I don't think this one's gonna sell it for you, but the entertainment for the singing and dancing, for the plot and the story, that's what's gonna keep you in here for sure. And I don't really have anything much of a grudge on this film. There's nothing really that I have an issue with, but if I do have to point out something, it's definitely mostly probably the main villain, who doesn't really have much to contribute. Like basically not much of a reason to be there or to do these things. I guess mostly just for control, and it's just kind of lacking. And it's just one of those films that it just kind of had to just roll with it and just move on with it. It's just something like to push the plot forward, and there's not really much of a big bad here. There's not much nitpicking here, but at least this one had a good finisher story, and it did have a pretty good compelling story as well. And if you know anything about The Wizard of Oz, if you either read the books or at least you saw the movie, you pretty much have a good idea what the story is. And obviously you get to see like the lovable characters again from the original Oz, like Dorothy, like the Cowardly Lion. They make a guest appearance, and it's always fun seeing the original characters here that I kind of like. And obviously it is one of those movies that if you're coming in here for just what you saw from the first one, and if you enjoyed the first one, the first Wicked, and you like the musical, the dancing, and the characters and the actors, and obviously the compelling story, and you want to keep continuing the story and have it finished a satisfying ending, it's definitely this film to actually have the good completion, the Wicked for Good, which is just a nice folded completion story from start to finish. It is something that you'll definitely enjoy if you love the first one as well. But if you didn't like the first one, maybe this ain't for you. Maybe you're not a big fan of big musicals or numbers, and I could see that. Not everybody likes this kind of genre, but I'm one of those people that definitely do have a huge bias against towards it, and I definitely love musicals. I always have, and it's one of my favorite things to go watch and witness. And obviously this is why I'm going to give this a B. I actually really think it's one of those better films that you could go out and see, especially since it's one of those kind of family movies about friendship and seeing how a story comes to a conclusion, which it is a good movie to go see. It's one of those better films that actually has a pretty good ending. And I'm actually surprised that they did something very well. And it's actually from a Disney, which is shocking because Disney not been doing very well. And it's one of those movies that it's probably better to go see with family and friends and just have a good time with it, especially if you know you're into singing and dancing. It's just those movies that it's meant for those, and I do appreciate that. It is one of those better movies. And it's just sad seeing that movie coming to a conclusion, but at least it's a nice completion, and it's always good to have a good completed franchise. Finishing with a compelling story and good acting, good characters. And if you're a big fan of The Wizard of Oz, you're definitely going to love it. And this is why Wicked for Good is a good send off to a fantasy world of The Wizard of Oz. Well, either way, thank you guys for listening, and I'll be seeing you guys on the next movie review. Later, guys.